This is Good Morning Suncoast. We're here for you.
And good morning, 6 o'clock right now. I'm Ray Collins. Jacqueline is off today. Meteorologist John Scalzi has details now of another dry pattern on the Suncoast, John.
Yeah, absolutely. After the front came through last week and really gave us some pretty chilly temperatures to start off the weekend. We haven't really seen much in the way of any kind of rainfall across the region as that dry air moved in. And that has led again to a kind of prolonged period of a big ridge of high pressure dominating our weather, bringing us sunny skies, but low relative humidity. And that does indeed increase our fire risk. Across the region, currently we have temperatures that are generally hovering around the 60 mark. We'll have a lot of sunshine this afternoon as dawn breaks. It should be a beautiful start to the day. Afternoon temperatures will be warmer than average, but still with that low humidity, it'll feel comfortable. Ray?
All right, John, talk to you again soon. Some buildup now in Manatee County. First off, heading south on 41 out of downtown Bradenton. Also, State Road 70 building toward the interstate. Farther south now on the maps in Sarasota County, a little bit of a slowdown, a tiny slowdown there on Fruitville. Looks like it's around Tuttle or Beneva right there, perhaps a lazy red light for all we know. And then farther south in the maps, a slowdown on 75 southbound, but otherwise all quiet as you wake up on this relatively peaceful Monday morning. Topping our news this hour, the case against a former Punta Gorda police officer heads back to court this morning. An arraignment is scheduled for Lee Cowell in Charlotte County. He is being charged with negligent manslaughter in the death of 73-year-old Mary Knowlton. She was shot while taking part in a role-playing demonstration last August at the Punta Gorda Police Department. The hearing is set for 8:30 a.m. The police chief, Tom Lewis, is also facing culpable negligence charges in that same case. In DeSoto County, a woman accused of killing 3 of her ex-boyfriend's grandchildren by setting his house on fire will also be arraigned today. Marion Williams facing several charges, including 3 counts of murder. Prosecutors have announced they are going to seek the death penalty against her in this case. The boys ranged in age from 4 to 10. They were visiting their grandfather when the fire broke out last month. The grandfather was also in the house at the time, but he was able to escape without injury. Well, last week was indeed a busy week for emergency responders in Sarasota. The police department reports over a dozen overdose calls last week alone. And the sheriff's office reports a bad batch of drugs might have caused the whole thing. Erica Jackson spoke to local rehab centers about their different approaches to tackling this opioid epidemic.
The Suncoast is home to more than a dozen addiction recovery centers, but 2 local organizations tell us that help can be found spiritually.
They need help. They need long-term help.
Denise Gattuso is shocked by the powerful drug epidemic rocking the Suncoast. She believes some men and women struggle in rehab programs because they've left children behind.
They don't really focus on getting well. They focus on what can I do just to get my children back and get out of this place.
And he realized they were eating better than he was.
Prodigal Daughters on DeSoto Road is a Christ-centered rehabilitation program helping women recover with their children by their side. Amber Gordon entered the program just 1 week before having her son Grayson.
It's really a blessing. I'm very grateful that I do have the opportunity to heal and recover and have my child with me.
Prodigal Daughters can treat up to 3 women at one time. The women say they've become a small family as they develop a relationship with a higher power.
I can be sober all day long, but it's my behaviors and my thoughts that I need to change in order for my recovery to be successful.
If we used to didn't be a mess and we now are a mess, we have to be able to believe that we can be restored.
After 18 months of treatment, graduates can receive more help from the Salvation Army. Captain Andy Bailey says recovery takes time for both patients in their in-house program and those taking an extra step after completing other programs.
The majority of people don't get well overnight. It is a process. So when they come through the door, they are handed everything in progression of what they need in order to get better.
Gordon says it's taking time, but she is turning her mess into a positive message.
I really would like to become a Christian substance abuse addiction counselor. You know, I want to help these women. I want to offer the same healing as what I received.
And while Prodigal Daughters only accepts women, the Salvation Army can help both men and women in need. Reporting in Sarasota, Erica Jackson, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
And there are more than a dozen addiction recovery centers on the Suncoast alone. The Palmetto police investigate a fatal crash involving a pedestrian on Sunday. 50-year-old Patricia Rivera was crossing 8th Avenue West outside the Carriage Court Motel when she was struck by an SUV. An off-duty officer tried to help, but she was pronounced dead at the scene. The driver says Rivera stepped out in front of traffic, and police confirmed that story, that the driver was not at fault in this one. Pedestrian fatalities are actually on the rise nationwide. Over the past 5 years, fatalities are up 25%. Last year, 6,000 were killed. That's about 10% more than the previous year. Locally, the numbers have gone down, though. Last year in Sarasota County, there were 10 pedestrian fatalities. That's down 13% locally from the year before. An update now on a water main break that left people living on Venice with low water pressure in parts of that area. Temporary repairs are now complete at the train depot where the incident actually happened. The depot and the nearby boat ramp and bike trail are now back open. A boil water advisory is in effect for those who live close to the train depot. To stay as a nature field or convert into a recycling facility, the Council of Neighborhood Associations is hosting a public meeting tonight on that topic. The reason is developers plan to buy land in the celery fields, which is out east of the interstate near Palmer. They want to build a new recycling facility there. So KONA, this group tonight, will look at how decisions are made on selling public land and if policies should be changed. If you want to attend, it starts at 7 o'clock tonight at the Sarasota Garden Club. One of the busiest intersections in Sarasota is up for discussion tomorrow night. The state will talk about improvements to the area of US 41 and Fruitville. Possible plans include, another roundabout. The adjacent Quay project is scheduled to begin nearby eventually. That meeting is set for tomorrow from 5 to 7 in the City Hall Annex on 1st Street in Sarasota. Well, today marks 3 weeks since the start of the Siesta Breeze trolley, and Siesta officials say so far it's been a very successful trial run. They might want to continue it after September ends. That's when the trial period ends. Erica Jackson has more on who would pay for this project, though.
More than 25,000 residents and visitors use the Siesta Key trolley during its first 2 weeks of service. And now Siesta Key officials want to make it permanent here on the Key.
We really are finding that it's definitely improving parking on Siesta Key. We have some local residents here that have already noticed traffic congestion has lightened up a little bit.
Kendra Keiderling with Sarasota County Area Transit believes the first few weeks of the Siesta Breeze trolley service is helping traffic issues on the island. But Scott Jackson disagrees now that his wallet is $20 lighter.
We kind of did a couple U-turns, turned back around, doing the block a few times before we finally settled on paying for parking.
Jackson plans to use the trolley when he returns to the Suncoast, but can Scott continue the program when its 6-month trial ends in September?
We might have to look at creative ways in order to find the funding, because this has proved to be a successful route right off the start.
If you have something that's this successful, it seems to me you need to put your resources into maintaining them.
Mark Smith with the Siesta Key Chamber of Commerce says the group is looking into possible grants from federal agencies or FDOT. Another possibility, restructuring current resources.
There's bus routes in Sarasota County that are unproductive, and perhaps the reorganization of the current bus system.
Smith says Siesta Key is the last barrier island in Florida to get a trolley system. The Chamber of Commerce has met with officials up north on Anna Maria who have a permanent trolley to discuss funding options.
In this particular case, you can copy off your neighbor's work, and it works just fine.
Both Scott and the Siesta Key Chamber of Commerce plan to keep the trolley a free service and will only charge as a last resort. Reporting on Siesta Key, Erica Jackson, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
Also, some good news now on another story we're going to go to right now. Jim Clark, if you could roll the video. A Cortez cleanup over the weekend where volunteers were able to go with fishermen in the village of Cortez and go out and clean up the bay. And thanks to their hard work, they picked up thousands of pounds of trash from the bay. All good work by the volunteers and the fishermen who gave of their time. And today you can also book tours to see one of the friendlier marine residents on the Suncoast. The Bradenton Beach Marina is now booking for their dolphin tours. Guests will ride out in the bays of Manatee and Sarasota County in a new 40-foot custom-built catamaran called the Anna Maria Explorer. Tickets for adults are $25. Kids are $15 and seniors $20. Tours will take place Monday through Wednesday from 11 a.m. until 2 p.m. Nice thing for our vacationers to check out, and also residents as well.
Sure. I mean, if you don't have a boat, that's the way to do it, right?
It certainly is. Nice way to see the scenery out there as well.
Yeah, it's really remarkable when you see those dolphins going right beside your boat. I haven't seen it yet from a kayak, and I imagine that must be pretty amazing.
Yeah, sometimes they follow boats.
Yeah.
They get out in the wake.
Yeah. I don't know why they do that. I mean, I've heard that they're kind of riding the wave, or some people just say they're sociable, you know. That's why they're doing it, too.
Yeah.
Maybe they're getting trained to follow the bait from some of the fishing boats as well.
Oh, good thought.
So who knows?
Listen to you.
I have a dolphin like mine.
Clearly.
We have, I'm always looking for fish. We have some pleasant weather for you this afternoon. We'll talk about that in a second.
All right, also still to come next hour, the emotional meeting between a young boy and the donor who saved his life. After this.
Now's the perfect time to create a custom system with California Closets. During our Door and Drawer event, save up to $500 on beautiful doors and drawers for any room. Contact us today for your free design consultation. Visit our showroom or online at californiaclosets.com.
The official Suncoast Storm team at ABC 7. We're here for you.
A unique celebration of a distinctive cultural gem in Sarasota. La Musica, the annual International Festival of Chamber Music, with renowned musicians from 4 continents. April 3rd through April 12th at the Sarasota Opera House and at Sainer Pavilion. Buy your tickets now.
I knew I could get myself out of this. I just needed some hope and some help.
I took the first step to recovery when I made the call.
Since 2014, Addiction Hope and Helpline has answered calls for recovery and treatment 24/7, 365 days a year. If you're depressed, drinking, using drugs, or taking pills, call now and talk to someone who cares.
I had problems just getting to sleep, drinking and using pills every night.
I feel like I'm losing control. I'm afraid I'll lose my job or even my family.
Most insurance covers substance abuse. You can get back on track. Call now for hope and help with proven gentle recovery programs.
I never thought that I could be somebody who didn't drink and use drugs.
I have something to hold on to for strength. I'm in recovery, getting the help I need.
Call 800-622-1941. 800-622-1941.
Ace is a place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Does it really matter what type of light bulb you use?
We have a huge selection of bulbs. I gave Stella LEDs because they can last up to 20 years.
Ace is a place that knows a lot can change in 20 years. Except these light bulbs.
Hi. Oh, sure.
Don't miss these April Red Hot Buys. 6 convenient Sarasota locations and now open in Bradenton, Northport, and soon Osprey.
The official salon of ABC 7. Cutting Loose Salon.
Come into a California Closet showroom to experience our quality materials and construction and collaborate with our designers to create the perfect custom solution for any room. Go to californiaclosets.com to request a free design consultation and locate the showroom nearest to you.
Now, the official Suncoast weather with ABC7 meteorologist John Scalzi.
So currently we look at an air temperature that comes in at a very pleasant 59 degrees. We're looking at low dew points, however, and those dew point values being low are a good indication that we won't see any rainfall today. We're looking at a wind, too, out of the east. That will continue throughout the remainder of the week, I think. An easterly wind flow around a big ridge of high pressure that sits just to our north, bringing us some clear skies right now. We have winds that are everywhere out of the east at about 5 to 10. Those generally light winds will continue. Now, eventually, the easterly flow will transport moisture from the other coast. But until then, we'll deal with this low relative humidity. Good news is that along our area beaches, Mote marine spotters have not found appreciable amounts of red tide toxins in the air. Only slight amounts and only at isolated beaches. So that's good news. When we left on Friday, it was a much wider spread of those toxins. But I think that easterly wind flow may have helped just a little bit. And so we'll continue to watch and monitor that as we head through the remainder of the week. But right now, Lido and Venice are the two beaches that, as of yesterday anyway, showed issues with a little bit of irritant in the air. They'll be going back out again this morning and revising those numbers as they do their spotting every day. Looking at quiet conditions on radar across the Suncoast. No rain falling today. In fact, it's going to be hard to find rain anywhere across the state of Florida, except along the immediate east coast, where that onshore wind kind of enriches the atmosphere with moisture over the long fetch of the Atlantic and then brings the rain showers to the coastline, where they quickly rain out and so consequently have a very difficult time ever making it across the peninsula. Next best chance of some heavy rainfall will be in parts of Indiana, Illinois, and Wisconsin, Michigan later on this afternoon as another area of low pressure continues to draw down moisture over the Great Lakes. A frontal boundary extends back down through Texas, and the frontal boundary will produce a few showers around the Houston area and up through parts of Dallas as it gets that deep tropical moisture lifting northward. Potential for some stronger storms there later in the day and tomorrow as well. That front's not going anywhere. It really doesn't bother us. We stay under the influence of a big ridge of high pressure off the Atlantic and that easterly wind flow. So, sunny skies, low relative humidity, by the way, an increasing drought index because of that low humidity, and warmer than average afternoon highs coming in the mid-80s. Normal high for this time of year would be about 80. So we're running 3, 4, 5 degrees above average across the region. And that high pressure continues to produce our easterly wind, but not so strong that we don't pick up a sea breeze close to the coast in the afternoon, giving us a little bit of a wind surge a little bit later today. We'll look for daytime highs staying above average right straight through the week, with perhaps a little more humidity toward the end of the week, but no better rain chances. Ray?
Okay, thank you, John. Checking Suncoast roads right now as you wake up on this Monday morning. Not easy, we know. Not a lot of traffic right now. 301 northbound heading toward Bradenton, starting to build. Otherwise, nothing major to report in Manatee County. Farther south in Sarasota County, a couple slowdowns perhaps at 41 near Fruitville, and also on the Bee Ridge, an ongoing construction project there, always causing some challenges for drivers. Farther south now in Sarasota County, a slowdown around Business 41 in North Venice around Nokomis. Otherwise, all clear on this Monday morning. A 4-year-old kidney patient met the woman who saved his life, and Spencer Blake was there.
With flowers in hand and sunglasses on, 4-year-old Jordan Terry was ready to meet the woman who saved his life.
Thank you. Can you give her a hug? Can you give her a hug?
Victoria Meyer couldn't help but let her tears flow.
Just to finally be able to meet him just really means a lot, and just very overwhelming.
Jordan was born 2 months prematurely, and by the time he was 2, his kidney problems were bad enough that he needed a transplant. His family put out a desperate plea in newspapers and all over social media. It was a mutual friend who sent Meyer a link to the search for a donor.
I saw Jordan's picture with his grandmother, and I stopped and read it. And then, of course, I have like 3 younger ones, sorry. And I thought, I hope somebody would want to do that for my kids also.
The surgery was successful, and Meyer has wanted to give the family some space to be with Jordan. Now, 2 years later, Jordan's doing so well the time felt right. Jordan's family couldn't agree more.
I am just beside myself. I'm so excited. This has been a long time coming.
And the families have more in common than just the transplant.
And I Facebook stalk the grandmother. We're friends on Facebook.
We've been waiting for so long. We've been stalking her on Facebook.
Perhaps Jordan is still young enough that he doesn't understand the significance of the day.
Tell you only wear giant stuff.
But one day he may look back and remember this as a time when he met another member of his family.
Nice. Jordan's aunt hopes the two families can continue to meet up more often now. 6:19, still ahead on Good Morning Suncoast. The shocking video of an officer who appears to throw a woman down. His response when we come back.
For your plumbing, electrical, or air conditioning, and services is qualified, and service calls are free. And services.com, AND services.com.
I heard about the Detoli Cancer Center through friends of mine who had been treated here and were very pleased with the treatment.
If there is prostate cancer, we at the Detoli Cancer Center will find it using 3D color flow Doppler ultrasound.
And that helped precisely identify where my cancer was. I can tell you that you will not find a finer, more professional team of clinicians anywhere in the world.
There are many choices when it comes to AC companies. Our advice? Choose a company that performs employee background checks and is licensed with top manufacturers like Daikin. Daikin offers a 12-year parts and labor limited warranty. For better comfort and value, call Elite Heating and Air.
The kitchen is where life happens. Minnesota Flooring now offers a wide variety of beautiful quality craft-made cabinetry to make sure the heart of your home reflects your style. Visit us today at our new kitchen and bath cabinetry locations.
Are you Goodwill?
Yes, because when I donate or shop at Goodwill,
I'm creating a job.
I am Goodwill, yeah, yeah.
Being the caregiver for someone you love is truly a blessing, but sometimes you can lose a part of yourself. To be your best, for them and for you, it's important to have time to be able to recharge your batteries. When you call Tidewell Hospice, they can give you a chance to do just that, and with the peace of mind of knowing your loved one is in the very best hands. Tidewell Hospice, it's more than you think.
For your plumbing, electrical, or air conditioning, and services is qualified, and service calls are free. And services.com, AND services.com.
A pretty shot of downtown, looking south on Lemon toward downtown Sarasota. The State Street parking garage right there all lit up, front and center. Beautiful morning. And John says really no rain in the forecast. In fact, dry conditions continue across much of Florida. Welcome back, 6:22. Some disturbing video from Colorado of an officer who throws a woman to the ground. A closer look now at the incident from ABC's Lindsay Davis.
In this morning's GMA First Look, Colorado police are investigating this video and what critics are claiming is an excessive use of force. 22-year-old Michaela Surratt slammed to the ground face first by a Fort Collins police officer. The video was posted online this weekend and went viral, viewed nearly 500,000 times in just 4 hours. Its caption, just 2 words, seems excessive. But police say the video doesn't tell the whole story. They say they were called to the scene Thursday night to break up a fight between Surratt's boyfriend and another man, and that while they were talking to witnesses, Surratt, who is 5'9" and weighs 115 pounds, shoulder-checked a bouncer and one of the officers while trying to get to her boyfriend. And coming up at 7 a.m., we'll have more about the ongoing investigation. With your GMA First Look, I'm Lindsay Davis, ABC News, New York.
Have you heard? Stanley Steamer's been certified asthma and allergy friendly for removing allergens from carpet, tile, and hardwood. Call or go online for our $99 special.
Stanley Steamer, your certified cleaner.
Americans, 83% try to eat healthy, yet up to 90% fall short in getting key nutrients from food alone. Let's do more. Add One A Day 50 Plus, a complete multivitamin with 100% daily value of more than 15 key nutrients. One A Day 50 Plus.
The bathroom. When things go wrong here, you remember. Quilted Northern is designed to work so well you can forget your bathroom trips. But Sir Froggy can never forget. I used to be a prince, but no princess would kiss me now.
Living healthy is a balancing act. That's why I love Light and Fit Greek non-fat yogurt. Each delicious cup contains 12 grams of protein and 80 calories. It's nutrition that fits my healthy life. Light and Fit, do what fits you.
If you're trying to balance caring for your mother and being a mother to your children, we can help. It's what we do. Call Granny Nannies today.
A helping hand and a gentle heart.
ABC 7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you weeknights at 5.
Credit card debt can ruin your life. If you owe $10,000 and minimum payments are siphoning away your paycheck each month, you can get debt-free in less time than you think.
I've paid $800 a month for the past 3 years and haven't changed the balance on my credit card.
Get debt-free now has a program to reduce your debt, stop the harassing phone calls, avoid financial ruin, and settle for less than you owe.
I feel like a huge weight has been lifted off my shoulders.
You're pre-approved for our special hardship program if you owe $10,000 or more. Upon payment of your new lower balance, your debt will finally shrink until you are debt-free.
My family no longer has 30 years of payments ahead of us at 20% interest.
There's no fees until you see results. So call now, make one monthly program payment and free up your cash. Resolve your debt.
Call 800-628-1251, 800-628-1251.
So many times we underestimate the human spirit's drive to recover. We often see people surpass what any of us might have expected initially. The Rehabilitation Pavilion at Sarasota Memorial is the top of the line. It allows us to really bring the patient's recovery to the next level.
Since 2004, Embracing Our Differences has used the power of art and education to promote diversity. One way it accomplishes this is through its annual outdoor exhibition of 45 billboard-sized works of art, each accompanied by an inspirational quote. Join us in creating a community that is inclusive for all, where differences are embraced and individuality is celebrated. We invite you to celebrate the voices and visions of diversity and inclusion at this year's exhibit at Sarasota's Island Park.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
My dad is my hero, and I wanted to give him a chance to live life and be happy. Granny Nannies has been a huge help. It has contributed to the health and happiness of my dad, for sure.
A helping hand and a gentle heart.
This half hour on Good Morning Suncoast, the death toll continues to rise in Egypt after a bombing during services on Palm Sunday. President Trump thanking the Navy commanders who led last week's missile strikes in Syria, the latest on conditions overseas. And Delta looking to rebound today after severe thunderstorms canceled hundreds of flights.
Live from the ABC 7 studios, this is Good Morning Suncoast. We're here for you.
And a pleasant Monday morning, a tight shot there of Selby Library right there in the epicenter of downtown Sarasota. Off to a nice peaceful start on this Monday morning. Glad you're along with us. I'm Ray Collins. Jacqueline Matter is off today. Let's go to John Scalzi now for more on the continued dry conditions across Florida, John.
That's very true, Ray. We are looking at very dry conditions. And in fact, I'm posting a story to our website, mysuncoast.com, currently about those dry conditions and what they mean for the Suncoast, where the fire danger is increasing dramatically over the weekend, really, since that last front came through and dried us out. We have dry conditions again today. No rain in today's forecast. Lots of sunshine, though. And I'll tell you what, if you're going to be out and about this afternoon, even though the temperatures will be above average, it'll feel pretty nice. Daytime high temperatures will rise probably into the mid-80s today. They're currently close to the 60 mark most everywhere. No rain in the forecast, as I mentioned, just lots of sunshine. The satellite picture didn't show a cloud across the state of Florida, at least not near our neck of the woods. We'll look for a daytime high that tops out, well, probably around 85, 84 degrees, something like that, right?
Thank you, John. Talk to you soon. It's the calm before the storm, though, on the Suncoast roads, all quiet right now. But an hour from now, a lot of those green roads will be looking red on our maps anyway. Quiet right now in Manatee County, farther south into Sarasota County. A little bit of a slowdown on Bee Ridge Road around, say, Beneva or Honore, heading toward 41. Also slow on Clark toward the interstate. Farther south now into the southern portion of Sarasota County. We'll see all clear sailing right now at 6:30 on your Monday morning. Our top story this half hour, Egypt is in mourning after a terrorist attack on the country's Christian minority. As reporter Andrew Spencer tells us, the death toll there now stands at 49.
Police in New York offered extra security on Sunday, increasing patrols outside churches as the attack in Egypt weighed on the minds of many Christians, having happened a week before Easter Sunday.
They tried to take the joy from us. This is not the first time it happened on holiday.
At a Coptic church in White Plains, New York, they understand the pain all too well.
It is very sad for our church member.
Bombings in 2 Egyptian cities targeted the country's Coptic Christian minority on Sunday. The attacks left dozens of people dead and more than 100 injured, according to the country's state-run media. Coptic churches have been the target of attacks in the past, and ISIS, in claiming responsibility Sunday, threatened more attacks in the future. Egyptian President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi declared 3 days of national mourning and a 3-month state of emergency. He issued a statement saying, in part, the attack will not undermine the resolve and true will of the Egyptian people to counter the forces of evil. The bombings came days after Sisi's visit to Washington, where he and President Donald Trump spoke about terrorism. A senior administration official says Trump called Sisi from Air Force One to offer his condolences. Trump used his Twitter account to condemn the attacks, adding that he had great confidence that his Egyptian counterpart would handle the situation. I'm Andrew Spencer, reporting.
President Trump has thanked the 2 Navy commanders who led last week's missile strikes in Syria. The president called the top officers on 2 U.S. warships that carried out the strikes. The strikes involved 59 Tomahawk cruise missiles launched from the destroyers Ross and Porter. It was a response to a chemical attack blamed on the Syrian government that killed dozens of people last week in Syria. Well, today, Neil Gorsuch will be sworn in as the 101st Justice of the U.S. Supreme Court. Chief Justice John Roberts will administer the oath in a private ceremony at 9 o'clock this morning. Justice Anthony Kennedy will administer a judicial oath then in a public ceremony in the White House Rose Garden at 11 a.m. Now, Gorsuch had clerked for Kennedy, and this will be the first time a former clerk will take the bench with his former boss. Neat story there. Gorsuch was confirmed on Friday, mostly along party lines. He replaces the late Antonin Scalia on the nation's top court. Severe thunderstorms forced Delta Airlines to cancel hundreds of flights over the weekend. At least 150 were grounded. The airline is working to restore the schedule. The problem is there weren't enough crews available to staff its flights because of federal regulations on rest. Delta is also offering waivers to help people rebook their flights without charge. In Canada, a man risks it all to save his dog who fell in a freezing pond. Look at this video. Duncan McIver watched as his dog Cosmo fell through the ice. He jumped right in to save his dog. They both tried to keep their heads above water. A news crew was nearby doing a story on the dangers of thin ice when this all happened, with cameras rolling. McIver and Cosmo are safe, just a little chilly on this Monday morning. Okay, the scene is Fort Lauderdale. A guy at the slot machines. He says to his friend, go ahead and push the button. She does, and she wins $100,000. So who gets that money? Sheldon Fox has the story.
I never had such a big jackpot in my life.
Marina Navarro is a winner. She took home a $100,000 prize minus taxes in January during a lucky night of playing video poker at Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino.
We hit it $100,000.
But she had company that night. Jan Flatto says he actually was the big winner. The then friends, Flatto and Navarro, who doesn't want her face shown, gambled on Flatto's player card, and when it was time to collect winnings from casino officials.
Upstairs, the eye in the sky says she touched the button, so technically we have to pay her.
Jan all of a sudden went ballistic. He started screaming in front of everybody.
I said, are you kidding me?
He says he had her hit the button for luck on his $50 bet. That turned out to be an unlucky, unsavvy move. Part of a statement from Hard Rock said, the person who pushes a slot machine button or pulls the arm is the person who wins the jackpot. Flatto says Navarro took the 100 grand.
I said, Marina, what are you doing? And she gets up and walks out.
That same night, he started sending me nasty text messages, threatening me.
Here are some sent that night. Having me as an enemy, not good, she says he wrote, along with, we'll see who made the big mistake. It won't be me. The rest of the text messages were too vulgar to show on TV. She tells us she offered him some of her winnings, but after receiving threatening texts, she decided to pull her offer. Flatto says Navarro also sent him messages. Still mad at me, he says she wrote.
You'd think they could probably split that winnings somehow, but boy, tempers flaring around money right now. Back in this area, on a much lighter note, dozens of boats were on the water for the Sculling Championship Tournament at Benderson Park. 850 athletes from 34 teams across Florida took part. The finals are qualifying events for high school rowing teams looking to compete in the national competition. It's an event many young rowers say they train for all year long.
I'm with my team all the time, 6 days a week, 4 hours a day. It's more like a family, not even a team anymore. So when I win, it's like we're all winning.
That's a great activity. This is the 8th year the park has hosted this particular tournament. A unique program by the Suncoast Blood Bank you should hear about. Applications are out for the bank's scholarship program. High school seniors who have donated a minimum of 3 units of blood and volunteer at least 30 hours can apply for a scholarship. Average awards can be as high as $500. To learn how to apply, just go to mysuncoast.com and click on links we mentioned. Applications are due on April 14th. That's coming up. We had a great time this past weekend in Lakewood Ranch. It was the Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation's One Walk campaign. And we've got a picture now to show you of the event we had this past weekend. In fact, we'll show that next segment. So
we'll watch for it.
There's my tease.
Okay. We'll keep an eye out for it. Beautiful weather here on the Suncoast again today. Just dry. Watch those fires. You know, a lot of places in Florida have outdoor burns banned. So,
right.
Just be careful. We'll talk about the forecast coming up in a few.
Okay. That and entertainment news coming up next.
My Hometown Fest is coming to Nathan Benderson Park Saturday, April 15th. Join us for culinary favorites from across the U.S. paired with your favorite craft beers. There's also great live music and activities for adults and kids. Buy your tickets today at myhometownfest.org.
Sarasota Magazine and PNC Wealth Management present the Best of Sarasota Soiree at Selby Gardens on April 24th.
It's an evening to sip, savor, and celebrate Sarasota Manatee's best of winners.
This year will be full of Warhol-inspired surprises, entertainment, and a tribute to those representing the best in our community.
Come join ABC7 for all the fun.
Get your tickets today at SarasotaMagazine.com.
What Florida city is best known for spaceflight?
Cape Carnival.
Cape Carnival? Close enough. What condiment includes vinegar, molasses, and anchovies?
Westchester sauce?
Close enough. And now, a word from our sponsors.
One-off from the Florida Lottery. Now available for pick 2, 3, 4, and 5 games. Miss by one on any or all numbers and still win.
Hi, I'm Chef Judy. Every Wednesday morning, I'll be with the chefs at the Publix Aprons Cooking School serving up the most wonderful dishes. Watch Aprons in the Kitchen every Wednesday on ABC7's Good Morning Suncoast.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. Our promise means a new car you'll love. If not, return it for one you do. At Sarasota Ford, we promise live market pricing. We monitor national pricing on our entire inventory, so you get the best deal. In fact, we guarantee it. Bring us any competitor's ad, and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
Whether a family member needs a little extra help around the house, assistance recovering from a hospital stay, or someone to check in on them throughout the week, Right at Home's in-home care is the answer. Your loved one deserves the right care, and now we need caregivers to help give the right care for the right reasons, the right way. At Right at Home, we're one of the only private home health agencies in this area with the opportunity to earn paid time off. If you're someone who loves helping people, take a look at our website and click on jobs to join our team today.
Tickets are going fast for My Hometown Fest, being held from noon till 5 p.m. Saturday, April 15th at Nathan Benderson Park. Enjoy foods from 40 area restaurants, 60-plus craft beers, live music, and lots of fun. Buy your tickets today at myhometownfest.org.
Now, the official Suncoast weather with ABC7 meteorologist John Scalzi.
That's a nice start to the morning. We have low relative humidity. It feels comfortable. Temperatures are a little warmer than they were over the weekend. We're looking at 59 degrees, the air temperature. Dew point comes in at 53. That's dry. That's a low relative humidity. As we head into the afternoon, it'll get lower still as our temperature climbs. Humidity right now at 81%. We have an east-northeast wind coming in at about 7, and we have fairly clear skies out there. All in all, we continue to watch that easterly wind both north and south across the Suncoast. That wind out of the east is kind of a drying wind for us. It comes in over land, and consequently our fire danger indexes, which are this particular one is used by the Forest Service to identify which areas have the best potential for a fire to start and require suppression. And our area is in the very high or extreme category, and so is a lot of the state of Florida. So it's a dangerous situation, getting worse. And as we head into the end of April and beginning of May, these are traditionally dry months, and it doesn't look like we're going to get any kind of major relief in terms of the deficit of rainfall that we currently have, which is 6 inches since the beginning of the year. Currently, radar free and clear of any kind of echoes across our region. Now, we do have a few scattered showers over on the other coast, but don't get too excited. Those showers won't be moving into our area. They stay on the other coast, and as they move across the state, they tend to just dampen out as they move further and further away from that Atlantic moisture source. Otherwise, we have some showers and thunderstorms building in parts of the heartland, stretching down into parts of Texas eventually today. In fact, that'll be a bullseye for severe weather, I think, as we head into the afternoon, anywhere from Houston up through Dallas. That front just not moving all that quickly. We'll be with those folks for several days in a row as we, under the influence of that high-pressure ridge off the Atlantic coast, get that easterly wind and low rain chances for the next probably 7 days. Now, we will notice that with time, the easterly wind will increase the humidity across our region as it transports moisture from the Atlantic into our area. But we have a building area of high pressure as we head into the end of the work week. and that will just further help to suppress rainfall chances as we head into the end of the work week. So consequently, sunny skies, low humidity, warmer than average afternoon highs coming in the mid 80s, at least for the beginning part of the week. And then high pressure continuing with that easterly wind across the region. Threat of severe weather does exist today in parts of the country. Chicago may see some stronger storms around a little bit later in the day today. So if you are traveling to the Midwest and to that airport hub, could be some problems with delays there. And also, as I mentioned, Dallas, even Houston having a chance at seeing some stronger storms around. No storms for us, though. Dry as bone across the entire state. Easterly wind continues. We get a couple of showers from time to time over on the other coast, but none of them have much of a chance of making it all the way across the state, and so we remain dry. May pick up a few fair weather clouds from that activity, but that's about it. East wind comes in at about 5 to 10 today, switching to the west with that sea breeze in the afternoon. Moderate chop on bay and inland waters with 2-foot seas. And the forecast looks pretty good, actually, if you want to get out and about out of doors. Warm, relatively dry in terms of humidity, and a comfortable breeze each afternoon. Back to you.
Very nice warm week. Thank you, John. Some buildup now in Manatee County off of Palmetto into downtown Bradenton. Also State Road 70 building up around 301, so be aware of those slowdowns already this morning. Farther south into Sarasota County, a slowdown on Clark at Swift right there at the bend. We see some red right there. Otherwise, usual slowdowns on Bee Ridge and Clark. And then farther south into Sarasota County, a slowdown on 41 around Business 41 heading southbound into the Venice area. A rock and roll send-off for Chuck Berry yesterday. Hundreds turned out for his private funeral in St. Louis. Among them, bands like Kiss and the Rolling Stones. Both bands say that Berry had a tremendous influence on them as musicians. The 90-year-old passed away last month. His beloved cherry red Gibson guitar was bolted to the inside of his coffin lid. Actress Zoe Saldana is the latest celebrity to be immortalized in wax at the Madame Tussauds Museum. The actress met with artists for hours to get the measurements right for her. Her wax figure is valued at $350,000. 100 points to Gryffindor. Harry Potter and the Cursed Child has set a record, winning 9 Olivier Awards, Britain's equivalent of Broadway's Tony Awards. The prizes for J.K. Rowling's drama about Harry and friends as adults included Best New Play, Best Actor, and Best Director. The show is due on Broadway next year. Should be interesting. At the box office, Boss Baby takes charge for the second weekend in a row. The animated comedy stars Alec Baldwin as a toddler trying to stop an evil CEO. The live-action Beauty and the Beast came in second this past weekend, and the Smurfs' Lost Village came in third place. Health news now. Warnings about how the Zika virus affects pregnancies. Dr. Timothy Johnson has the story.
We have all heard about the devastating birth defects from the mosquito-borne Zika virus. Now, a new CDC report announcing 51 instances of these Zika-linked problems so far in the U.S., and the number may climb higher yet. CDC officials say 44 states have reported pregnant women possibly infected with Zika since the outbreaks began. Most of these women were infected during travel abroad. And while headlines about local transmission have faded from the front page, the acting head of the CDC says even now 30 to 40 new cases of Zika in pregnant women in the U.S. are reported each week. The total cases of Zika in pregnant women so far is 1,600 and climbing. 1 in 10 women with confirmed Zika infection have had an infant or fetus with birth defects. The risk is higher in women infected earlier in pregnancy. The advice from health officials for pregnant women is to heed those travel warnings, practice mosquito-safe behaviors, and if you're concerned, ask your doctor about how best to keep yourself and your baby safe. With this Medical Minute, I'm Dr. Timothy Johnson.
Other health news now. A new study suggests exercising on an empty stomach is better for you than exercising after you eat. Researchers studied a group of overweight males, and volunteers walked for 60 minutes on an empty stomach and another 2 groups after a high-calorie breakfast. The results show that exercising on an empty stomach may burn more body fat and also fuel your metabolism. The men who also fasted experienced less aching and pain the day after their workout. Runners and walkers hit the streets of Lakewood Ranch this weekend to help raise money for a good cause. The JDRF One Walk is a fundraiser to help find a cure for type 1 diabetes. Dozens of teams took part and each had their own reason to be there.
The end stage of diabetes is not forgiving, and I've been there with my dad, and it's not pretty. So to help negate that for the future generations will help, they're funding the research, will help these children live longer.
And this is no small thing. They raised over $220,000, which surpassed their goal, so good for them. I was out there as the master of ceremonies, and there's some of the kids I was with. To my left there, right rather, Emma Bella. Her mother and Emma Bella began the whole thing after she came down with diabetes back when she was 5 years old. Suddenly she was tired and she was thirsty, and they found out that she indeed had type 1 diabetes. And rather than close the blinds and hide under the bed, they took care of her situation and also helped others in the area. So Tricia Rudd and her daughter Emma Bella. And I asked Emma Bella, what does she want to do when she grows up? She's 15 years old. President.
Aim high, nothing wrong with that.
Good for her. She's got a bright future ahead of her, so enjoyed taking part in this past weekend's JDRF walk in Lakewood Ranch.
And the weather was beautiful for it.
Yes, it was. Thank you.
Absolutely fantastic, and we'll continue again today. Have that forecast in a sec.
All right, we'll also recap local headlines after this. Stay with us.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
There are many choices when it comes to AC companies. Our advice? Choose a company that performs employee background checks and is licensed with top manufacturers like Daikin. Daikin offers a 12-year parts and labor limited warranty. For better comfort and value, call Elite Heating and Air.
Check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com for Chef Judy's favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blogs, step-by-step videos, and Suncoast Restaurant Guide. You'll find it all at mysuncoast.com/dining. ABC 7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you weeknights at 5. ABC 7 News at 7 weeknights.
Attention. This is an important message for anyone who has taken Xarelto or Pradaxa. If you or a loved one took the blood thinner medication Xarelto or Pradaxa and was then hospitalized for internal bleeding, you may be entitled to significant compensation. Xarelto and Pradaxa have been linked to serious, even fatal internal bleeding. If you suffered a stroke, heart attack, or serious internal bleeding, or if a loved one died after taking Xarelto or Pradaxa, call us now. Our network of attorneys have years of experience fighting the big pharmaceutical companies and is ready to fight for you. Potential claims are being reviewed for users of Xarelto or Pradaxa who have suffered severe bleeding or hemorrhaging, stroke, or even death. Our network of experienced attorneys is ready to fight for you. You won't pay a thing unless your case is settled. Call today for a free confidential consultation. Don't fight this alone.
Please call 800-928-6604. That is 800-928-6604.
Since 1972, Sleep King has provided quality mattresses and accessories at the best discounted prices available. Top brands like Simmons, Sealy, Serta, Beautyrest, iComfort, and more. With available free delivery, free financing, and free setup and removal. For a comfortable night's sleep with same-day delivery, even if we have to carry it on our backs. Trust Sleep King of Sarasota. Buy it today, sleep on it tonight.
You only have one life. Are you gambling with it? 1 in 3 adults have high blood pressure. Not knowing your numbers could cause you to lose, big time. Luckily, you can turn the odds in your favor by getting your blood pressure checked today. Don't leave your health to chance. Learn more at heart.org/HPB.
Being the caregiver for my husband is truly a blessing, but sometimes it's easy to lose a part of myself. To be my best, for him and for me, it's important to have time to be able to recharge. When I called Tidewell Hospice, they gave me the chance to do just that. They helped me find the time to care for myself, all the while with the peace of mind of knowing my husband is in the very best hands. Tidewell Hospice, it's more than you think.
Recapping top headlines today, a former Punta Gorda police officer is due in court this morning for an arraignment hearing. Lee Coel is facing charges for negligent homicide in the death of Mary Knowlton, who was fatally shot during a Citizens Police Training Academy last year. Plus, the woman accused of killing 3 of her ex-boyfriend's grandchildren by setting his house on fire will also face a judge today. Marion Williams will be arraigned in DeSoto County. Charges include 3 counts of murder. And the Council of Neighborhood Associations will talk tonight about the issue of selling public land. The issue has been sparked by Sarasota County's possible plan to sell land in the Celery Fields, which is east of 75 on Palmer, for a recycling facility. That meeting takes place at 7 o'clock tonight at the Garden Club on Sarasota's Bayfront. John? We'll check traffic first. Right now, it's quiet on the Sunshine Skyway Bridge, and also equally peaceful right now as we head south into Manatee County. Little slowdowns there on State Road 64 east of I-75. Farther south in the maps, we'll check Sarasota County. We'll find out a little slow at Bee Ridge around Shade and the 41 area. Nothing major right now. That'll change in about half an hour or so. And then farther south into Sarasota County, some red on the maps on 41 northbound and southbound around Business 41 and also around Nokomis. John?
Well, dry conditions across the Suncoast. We see a few scattered showers well inland back in Highlands County. I don't think we're going to see anything here locally today. Our daytime high tops out again warm, coming in around the 81-degree mark by 2 p.m. But before the end of the day, we'll probably hit around 84 degrees for a daytime high, and it'll be a dry afternoon without much in the way of any kind of rain chance. In fact, in the extended range, the rain chance stays dry. We'll look right into the weekend when high pressure will start rebuilding across the Suncoast.
Very warm out there this week. History is made on the International Space Station. American astronaut Peggy Whitson is now the first woman to take command of the space station twice. She last did it 9 years ago. She also broke the record for most spacewalks by a woman, 8. She's on track to break another record, most total days spent in space by a man or a woman. Peggy Whitson, mark that name down. I would be claustrophobic in a capsule that size. You can't go outside and go for long walks too often.
Well, then you'll need to scratch astronaut off your to-do list.
I think I'm also too tall as well. I'm almost 6'3", and you can't really be a good astronaut at 6'3", probably.
Probably not. Probably not. I didn't know that she would be the most number of days in space.
Yeah.
It's held by a woman. How fantastic.
Peggy Whitson, good for her.
A lot of room up there for women in space.
Apparently so. Enjoy your Monday. Good Morning America is next. A pretty shot now of Sarasota's horizon.